Check, check. 1, 2, check 1, 2. Hey guys, what's up? John here with Improved Guitar. Thank you so much for clicking on our video. Today we are going to go over the D major chord on the guitar. This video is geared towards those of you who are brand new guitarists who are looking to figure out how the heck do you make this thing sound, make prettyful noises, make beautiful noises. How do you play? So I'm just going to break that down for you guys. This D chord, hopefully very simple, and it won't take that long. So hey, I encourage you to watch and let me know what you think. Good, bad, ugly. I'm here to learn just like you are, and I want to provide the absolute best service I can for you guys to get you improving your guitar playing ability. So here we go. This right here, maybe right there. One of these days I'm going to nail where this stuff pops up. Is our D chord. This is a chord chart with our D chord. And a quick reminder, if you don't know how to read this chord chart, I'll put a link above right now that just says, or that's links to a video that is me teaching you how to read chord charts and what they mean. So we'll walk through that real quick. If you notice, it has the D because we're going to play the D chord. And if you notice, we're going to be using 3 fingers this time. Our last chord video was an E minor, and we just used 2 fingers, so we're upping our game. And then you can also notice at the top by the double lines, which is the nut here, that there is an X over your E string and an X over your A string and an O over your D string. So the E and the A string we are not going to play at all with this chord. So we don't even need it. So that means when we're going to strum or we're going to pick, we're going to start right there on that 4th string. We count from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th string there is your D string. And so that's the string we're going to start on, and it sounds like this. Oh, there it is. That is our D. And before we go any further along, I just want to remind each and every one of you, before you start playing your guitar, the first thing we need to make this a habit that we do is we tune our guitar, and we make it sound perfectly in tune. Excuse me, perfectly in tune. So push pause and get out your tuner. If you don't have a tuner, get out your phone. You can download free tuners on any of the app stores. You can Google a tuner, or you can do a video. If you don't have any of those, you should have access to one of those. But if you don't, there's a video here on how to tune without a tuner. You can check that out, and it's kind of a more tedious process. But hey, if you're in a pinch, go for it. And want to make sure we're in tune, so I will double check that I'm in tune here. And we are in tune, so we are ready to go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Our D chord is still up. Let's look at our number 1 finger first. The number 1 finger is your index finger. So if you're saying like, we're number 1, you know, or you're pointing at something, that is your number 1 finger, and that finger looks like it's going to go on the 2nd fret. So this is 1 fret, this is 2 frets, so it'll go behind the 2nd fret on the 3rd string from the bottom, so that's right there, and that should sound just like this. Beautiful. If yours does not sound like that, a couple things might be happening. You could be too close to this fret or on top of it, and it could change the way it sounds, or more likely you're too close to this back fret and it'll buzz on you like this. Hear that? That might mean you're just too close to the 1st fret and you need to go closer to the 2nd fret, or you could get a noise like this. And that is simply you need to press down harder. So that is our 1st finger right there. Let's look at our I got a dry mouth all of a sudden. That was very random. Let's look at our 2nd finger, which is your middle finger. And that's going to go on the 2nd fret also, and the very 1st string, so right here. count the frets, 1, 2, first string right there, and that note should sound like this. Beautiful. So we can work on getting both of those notes together. Oh, where is it? There it is. And then for those of you who are brand new to guitar, this last string and finger is what I call the pain maker. This is the one that it hurts. It's going to stretch your hand. Your finger is going to go on the 3rd fret. So 1, 2, 3 frets. And it's your ring finger. And it's going your 2nd string. 1, 2, right there. And what your finger's going to want to do is keep creeping back and back and back and back close to that 2nd fret to get you that nice buzzy sound. So you're going to have to fight it and even push it with your finger. Just push it out. Push it out there like that. And move your hand around until you can get that note ringing out clearly and crisply like that. And then, guys, if you are there, let's go ahead and strum this thing and see what it sounds like, because all sorts of things start happening once we get all 3 fingers on there. So here's what it should sound like. Beautiful chord. The D chord is a beautiful chord. If you were with us for our E minor chord, it's all dark and ominous sounding. This one is just bright and happy. Beautiful chord. So that's what your chord should sound like when you're playing your D major your D major correctly. What your chord actually sounds like now could vary wildly. And so what I want you to do here is to pluck each string individually. Your D string, your G string, make sure it sounds clear. If it doesn't sound clean, look and see what's happening. So if your D string, like this one, doesn't sound right, what might be happening is your first finger that's on your G string below it could be touching your D string, and it could sound like this. Any of those noises. And what that means is you're probably playing it with kind of the pad of your finger, and what we really need you to do is to play with the tip, the very tip of your finger. So what you can do is kind of round your hand out a little and make sure the tip of that finger is up and not touching the D string. And try again. Good. Okay, now if the G string is not sounding right, it could sound like this. Or it could sound like this. It sounds like this. Again, we're going to start getting you associating that buzzing noise with too close to the fret. So move more towards the middle and as close to that 2nd fret as you can. And if it sounds like this, I got bad news for you. That just means you're not pressing down hard enough. So we need you to get your thumb right behind there and just squeeze. Get that sounding nice and clean. Guys, I know this chord is one, especially for me, that is going to hurt a bit when we first start out. It will continue to get easier and easier with time, and eventually it won't hurt at all. But this one's a little hard. All right, your next string down is your B string. Go ahead and pluck that one. That's what it should sound like when we get it just right. A couple things might be happening here, just like with your D string. You could be too close to this fret and getting that buzzing sound. Or the same thing, you could get that mute sound, that one. That's just pressing harder. So let's get it closer to the 2nd fret, or to the 3rd fret, I'm sorry. Closer to the 3rd fret here, and pressing down as hard as, not as hard as you can, but hard enough to get it to sound clean. Good. Next, let's try that high E string, your first string there. Go ahead and pluck it and see what it sounds like. This is what we're going for. This one can be kind of tricky to get clean, and let me tell you why. Because your ring finger here, that's on the 3rd fret, If your hand is a little bit too flat, or you're playing with the pad of your finger, just like we talked about with the first finger, if you're playing with the pad, what can happen is this finger can be touching your E string below it, and you can get that sort of noise or that sort of noise. And so again, what we need to do is we need to kind of round our hand a little bit and make sure there's some space that you can kind of, you know, fit your finger under there a little bit. And go ahead and try that again. So here's what it should sound like. Beautiful. And go ahead and pick one of each. Go ahead and pick one note at a time again, and see how you can get it sounding. And what I recommend doing, especially when you're first starting, go ahead and take your hand off, shake it out. You know, do this, get some blood flow back into it, rest your fingertips because those are probably hurting when we talk. So what I recommend doing is holding that chord shape on the chord chart there and picking one note at a time, just trying to get each note nice and clear. You can strum, of course. Strumming is very good too, but what happens sometimes when we're strumming is we're hiding some of the mistakes we might be making. It's harder to pick up on them. And what we're really going for is we're brand new to the guitar, and learning is learning things the right way and making sure our fundamentals are perfect, because that'll translate to all of our chords that we're learning. So just remember, as you guys are practicing this chord, that this chord's gonna hurt. So shake out your hand if you need to rest. Shake it out, get the blood flowing, hang it down low, just like that. Kind of do this with your hand just to get the blood flow back in. And don't be afraid to take some breaks, because this is something that just takes a little bit of time, and that's totally cool. No big deal. You got time. So if you're frustrated, remember, take a break. Like I said before, YouTube will always be here, probably. It'll at least be here when you're done being frustrated. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I encourage you, do not give up. You can do this, and I look forward to practicing with you soon. All right, guys. Well, have a good day. Catch you soon. Bye.